Alright, so in this video I'm going to do a quick rundown on how to do a basic comparison for one log to another. I'll do myself. Go to warcraftlogs.com, pick whatever log it is that you want to compare. I'm just going to do my Shriekwing kill. I got myself up. I'm going to click this compare button top right hand corner of the screen. And then I'm going to set my parameters. So first thing, I'm going to pick the player that I want to begin with. That's going to be myself. Whoops. And then I'm going to set the parameters for which I want to compare to. It defaults in at within a 10-second time frame of the log that you chose, a 2-player raid size of the log you chose, 2 item level difference between the player that you chose, and then you can change the time range on the log that you're going to compare to. You want to do a relatively newer log. Especially on a new X pack, there's changes from. You don't want a 28-day-old log if there was like nerfs to the boss or changes to the mechanic or whatever it is. So I'm just going to change it to 14. So again, I picked myself. Fight's going to be within 10 seconds of my fight. Within a 2-player difference of the raid size. Persons are going to be within 2 item levels of myself, and then the log's going to be within the last 14 days. Then I click search. This is going to pull up the top 50 logs and the parameters that I chose, and I'm just going to pick the whatever I want. You can see on the right side what talents and trinkets that they're running and what the match shows a cast match to yourself. So this top person, we have a 45% match. That means the cast that I had compared to his only matched 45%. So I mean, there's a huge difference. Healers, there's going to be variance because fights change, case by case and based on the raid in the fight. No 2 Shriekwings are likely going to be the same. Damage, this is going to apply to you more so. But in this comparison anyways, you can see it pulls up myself on the left in blue and then Shufang in purple. It did come in a different language. There is a translate button at the top right. Just click that if that's the case, and then it translates to your default. So on this comparison log that I pulled up, you can see difference in specific heals. My Echoes did 468.3, his did 627.9, so that's a huge difference. You can see he's got a different covenant than mine. His salvation did 76, mine did 56, so on. So I mean, that's just a base breakdown of where the heals came from. If I want to look, I can go to cast, see a cast difference. I did 42 prayer of healing. He did 34. He did significantly more circle of healings. He had 22. I only had 18. I had 29 prayer of mendings. He had 21. So just, I could see a cast difference. Obviously, there's a big difference between the two of us, and he did overall better HPS than I did. So, I mean, that tells me something. I can go to, let me see, events. You can click on events. This shows you second by second what casts were what. If I wanted to zoom in at a specific part, I could, say I wanted to see what he cast specifically at the beginning of the fight or at 5 minutes into the fight. I can zoom in, and that'll show you the second by second breakdown of mine. So at 4:59, I cast Feather. He cast Prayer of Mending, so on. So this is really, really, really good tool for DPS. Let me see. Let me back out to the original log that I had. Well, actually, let me just look up. I'll look up flips. I'm going to look up my pal JFresh. We're going to pull up his Shriekwing log. We're going to do a quick comparison. Same way that I showed. Click compare. Select player. Select those parameters, 10 to 14. So this again pulls up top 50 to that parameter that we set, and we're going to pick the top one. First thing I would want to do if I'm doing a comparison is look at the summary over here on the left. And this is a good place to compare stats, talent builds, soulbinds, conduits, gear, enchants, basically pretty much everything. JFresh is here on the left, the comparison person, Mendy, is on the right. We can see that the talents are exactly the same, so that's fantastic. If I want to see, stats, this guy's got more verse than JFresh does. His mastery's about the same. JFresh has more haste. Oh, and that gives you an idea there. Soulbinds, difference in soulbinds. They have a couple that are similar, but aside from that, they're different. Legendary is the same, so that's good. Enchants are different. JFresh is enchanted for versatility. This guy is enchanted for haste, different. He's got celestial guidance. JFresh has sinful revelation. That obviously would mean more to him, and I'm sure there is a reason for the difference between the two. I don't personally know. I don't play mage, so. But that, if you wanted to compare, that's where you would go for that. Damage done. First thing that I notice on this page is the difference in opener. So lust on pull for both fights. This guy's peak is 18.8k. JFresh is sitting at 15.2. So difference in opener. If you wanted to look at a specific area, you could just highlight it. Or you could do the entire fight if you just wanted a breakdown of the entire fight, whatever you want. You would go to, if you wanted to see exactly what was being cast at those time frames, you would do events. And in the opener, you can see there's an obvious difference in cast. Again, I don't play mage, so I don't really know what the reasoning is for this variance. It could be proc, it could just be simple, he's just they're not clicking the buttons in the same manner. I don't know. But you can see that JFresh did 2 Fire Blast on pull, this guy did a Pyro Blast and a Fire Blast, and so on. You can use this tool to figure out when CDs are being popped. He could go to all abilities. If you wanted to look up when each person is using Combust, you could go to all abilities. Let me see. Go to cast, all abilities, combustion. And then you get a breakdown of who's casting, or where those are being cast at. JFresh combust on pull, same for the other guy. JFresh combust at 59, 59 again, very similar. JFresh at 234, 228, 351, 333, 508, and 459. So you could always, if you use something else you want to look at, when Rune of Power is used, when Shifting Power is used, whatever, just go down that list and pick it, and it'll show you like the timeline. If you want to look again at specific areas, you could always highlight and zoom in. And then when you're done with the zoom, click reset.